The waiter collects the two of you, and you're walked into one of those like cool, dangerous elevators that if you put your hand out, it's for sure getting taken off. I love those things. Which of you is carrying the artifact if you're bringing it with you?
I think if Amelia had some kind of satchel or like case for carrying documents.
The classic would be like brown parchment paper, right? And then like a bit of twine around the outside. Just ominous enough to wonder what's inside.
That, but also in like a bag, like it's in a leather like briefcase, like not a hard briefcase, like just a satchel, like document carry thing. But it is also like wrapped up.
Too easy. So it's sort of being held as the lift gets to the top. Bing! And you walk out. It's like a steak restaurant or something. There's waiters tearing around throughout it, looping around, delivering nicer meals than you've had in a long time. And the smell is intoxicating. You haven't eaten in a while. I think the last meal we had was the diner right before the abduction, and then things kind of kicked off. So you kind of realize you're hungrier than you expected. As you get to the table, Abner Wick, large gentleman, he's cleaned himself up a bit and he's wearing a pretty snappy looking tux, is seated and already working his way through what looks like 2 or 3 personal appetizers, and he's ordered food for the table, which is already beginning to be ferried over. He stands and nods to each of you as you take your seats, and then places himself down and says, "Your friend Thomas isn't joining us?"
Not this evening. He's otherwise engaged.
A shame. He seemed useful sort. Well, listen, please help yourself to food. There's more coming, and there's drink aplenty. I'd like to discuss the opportunity here of the artifact once you find it.
Well, I might have some good news on that front. And I will nod to the bag that is sitting down by my side.
You have it here already.
Yes.
Well,
we
well
are
done.
professionals, Mr. Wick.
I can see that, and you handle yourselves well, and a deal is a deal. I did not expect you to act so quickly, but I was prepared in case you did. He reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out like a yellow envelope, thick with cash, and then puts it down. And before he does, he gets out a pen, makes a couple of short, small notes on a sheet of paper, and folds it and puts it into the envelope with the bills. As he opens it, you can see there's several $1,000s in here. He says, "And the inventory as requested," and he puts it on the table.
The full inventory? That seemed like a short list.
Everything that I know. Sorry, he was like amending to an existing list. He already had one prepared.
Oh, very good.
I must ask, because it is, I feel morally obliged to do so.
You feel you must. I assure you, you do not. I can handle myself. I can handle the contents of that case. Leave it with me, Mr. Langley. All will come well.
Is there any opportunity for a bonus, given how quickly we found it and the efforts we had to go through to get it to a state where we could provide it to you safely? And like, I hope at this point he takes like a slightly better look at us and is like, huh.
Yeah, you got the impression he probably took a good look at you as you sat down as well. He nods. He says, "No reason we can't be polite, and if extra effort was required, then I'll respect that. I'd rather we leave on good terms than ill. What would you ask? More money? That can be arranged."
I was hoping that there could be some kind of arrangement put in place for a young man who needs some help after all this is said and done. If that is something that we could agree on, a fund for a young man who helped quite a bit.
This young man, he'd be Professor Leiter's artist. I could have great use for a man of such talents. I'd be willing to pay for his therapy. He could live with me if he chose. I'd offer him work. It's up to him if he'd want to take it.
Our primary
Right.
concern would be for his well-being, not for his livelihood.
Of course, but come out the other side of this, he'll have questions. And I have answers. There's no safer place.
I think that sounds like an excellent addendum to our arrangement.
And then I will care for him, as if he were one of my own.
Thank you. A weight off my shoulders.
Yes.
We're returning to the previous topic that was dismissed a little prematurely, I think. Mr. Wick, I have to, at the risk of being impolite, draw attention to the injuries that my companion has sustained here. This is a dangerous industry you found yourself in.
Just very gently going to put a hand on Stephen's arm, not like just gently like reassuring. Nothing else. Not saying stop, just reassuring pressure.
And the fact is that, people get hurt in more ways than one in the antiques dealing. It seems, and we really want to make sure that we can hand this thing over with a clear conscience here, because if anyone else got hurt by this thing, it'd not be good.
You don't need to threat. This item is for collection purposes only. Won't be used or tampered with. Merely wish to own it and inspect it. I understand the risk I find myself in.
May I recommend not accidentally erasing any marks, and I will push the bag over to his side of the table.